Hi, dear friend. Today we'll discuss about uh, Java architect level interview question and answer. So, primarily, what kind of things and what roles are Java architect? So, Java architect primarily responsible for designing, upgrading, integration, application. So, So that candidate should be must experienced on the specific technology like that Java, J2E, IPLS, web services, thread, concurrency, Spring framework, Spring Boot, microservices. So all kind of things need to be hand-on experience, and they have also hand-on experience in implementation on the barriers design pattern uh, of the Java application. So that application must be workable, scalable solution for the various business challenges. So let's move on. Question one: explain continuous integration delivery continuous deployment. So as per the software industry, dev operation help continuous integration. So continuous integration means it is a agile based development environment. So what are the environment like that have some version tools like that Git, SVN repository, Jira, and so on. Other also have some tools. So developer change the code files and add and build it for the syntax style, code quality, compile time error using automatic test before final integration with build during the release. So that is a part of continuous integration, means developer will uh, work on the development. So what role here architect will suggest the various things like that memory leakage and exceptions and design pattern how to be followed, and database level. So all things should be guided to the developer and technical leaders. So accordingly to that, focus on the development. Second, continuous delivery. So continuous delivery is a part of deployment for the testing. So once development environment is successfully built with the version control codes, so that would be delivered to the testing team so they can deploy in staging, production, and so on. So that part should be parallelly would be on this continuous delivery. So here what roles are Java architect? Java architect mostly the delivery part track what kind of change comes as per the requirement. They will track to the all things like that developer, staging, and production teams. So we coordinate with the all things about changes of delivery. Continuous deployment. Based on the well designed reliable test automation. So developers change to the code from the version control repository to production to define a continuous deployment. So improve the productivity, real-time response of developer, market demand. If any defect, release or daily stress have become things of the past to continuous deployment. So here what will do Java architect will manage if any kind of defects are comes or any other challenges will come, so they will coordinate to the development team and productivity team for the improving the productivity. If anything is required to change, so prompt tech change and deliver to the production team. Second question, explain domain driven design. Driven design focus on the core domain and business logic. Core domain just like as a banking, finance, telecom and insurance. So many domains are there. So what will focus on the core domain and its business related to domain problems. If complex design based domain model and collaboration with the domain technical expert to resolve the specific domain problem. So technical expert means as a technical leader, technical design architect will resolve domain related problems with the help of MOM, meetings of minutes, and discuss and finalize and set the consist of data, goal, matrix, idea, knowledge about domain problem to be resolved. So that are the domain driven design. Third question is describe the single responsibility principle. Single responsibility principles is a part of architect. So what they will do? Single purpose responsibility, thereby making software implementation easy, preventing side effect, resulting from change made in the future, with more often changes in class, dependencies of other classes also get affected, so increase the complexity. With a single responsibility in a class, number of bugs reduce and speed of the development increase. So real-time example of a single responsibility principle is a Java persistent API JPA which manage the data persisting in a relational database in a standard way being a only responsibility. Okay, so what are the solid principles? Solid principle is a single responsibility principle, closed principle, substitution principle, interface, segregation principle, dependency inversion. So that are a part of solid principle. Solid represents the initial design principle popular in the development of the object-oriented software, making it easy to remember them. So list up that principles are listed as I have described following. Single responsibility means if developer is designing, so that would be easy to code change without any side effect on the other classes. Closed principle, open and closed principle, it is a part of as a development, how to develop what kind of open, what kind of close. So that are the principle. Substitution principle. How to substitute? If any logics or design in the application is going to fail, or we want to provide its substitution with the easy way, so each and every can work on that. Interface segregation principle. Interface segregation principle is based on what kind of interface we are using. For example, many systems are there, one API, two or three systems are working in the one system. So how to be integrated? For example, 5 APIs are we want to integrate in our system. So that part will be a segregation. Dependency inversion. Dependency inversion is a part of like that can be say whenever you start the development what dependency is required. For example, Gradle or Maven. So that part are a dependency inversion. How would you deal memory leak in Java application? So memory leak whenever any unused objects are in our applications, so they might be in future will be create the problem for the memory leakage. So how do you, so here reduce the amount of memory allocated to the Java application. So here what will do? Use of unused object references is a cause of memory leak. Using static object. Suppose if you are using static object, it will be a cause of memory leak because of that static objects are associated with the class level, so it will directly comes on the JVM. If so many static objects are there, so that would be create a problem for the memory leakage. So here what will do? Will tell you failing the cleaning of native system resource. Native system resource means if suppose if you have written Java program, so compiler or designed on the C++, so between communication between Java and C, here have some native library. So if native library will be failed, so that code will be comes on the failing cleaning of native system resources. Defect in third-party libraries. Third-party libraries as a part of any applications APIs are going to fail due to the some not connecting, or it is throwing 1 minute, 2 minute, it is interacting with the other resources during that period. It might be cause of memory leakage. So third party libraries means you know about the third party API definition, you can tell it. Suppose if you want to integrate with the some other messaging server just as like a Kafka, but Kafka is down, and in that time you are going to the hit the particular request for sending in the Kafka topics. So if topics or Kafka is going to down, so in that cases will comes as a memory comes a cause of memory leakage. So how do you prevent memory leak in the following way? You should not create unnecessary object, minimize using string concatenation, use string builder, to append, insert, replace, delete operation on the string, avoid storing excessive data in the session, use time out for session no longer in use, avoid use of system.gc method, limit using static object, if used explicitly refer them to null. Finally, block close connection statement and result set. So that part are the preventing the memory leakage. What are 12 factor application principle? So 12 factor app methodology is used to order to build software as a service. So it is applied to all applications written in any programming language used to combination of cache, database, memory, queue as a backing service. So 12 factor admin process. Admin process means automatic script for the admin task can be packaged along with the application or source control to ensure they run on the same environment like that of a application. So you admin process means right, build, release, run. Once you have completed, so make it the build, release, run. So delivery pipeline should be a 3 separate stage: build, release and run. So build, release, run is a pipeline delivery. Suppose if you want to deploy through the Jenkins, any other tool, so here the pipeline scripting is required for build, release, run at a once time. Backing services like a database, SMTP, FTP server, web services should be treated as a attached service, should be managed by the execution environment. Code base, maintain one-to-one association between version. Code base use branches different version to avoid the complexity with a repository. Configuration, environment specific configuration should be stored in the environment, not in the application. Concurrency, application should be handled load balance, request for the multiple identical node running simultaneously, scale horizontally, process and threads in parallel execution using feature of handling the multi-threading in Java virtual machine. Dependencies, services running in the application should be declared a dependency explicitly, should not rely on the system level library on tools. You can install Apache Moment to maintain application dependency. Disposability, application process should be disposable and application should have a quick start of a graceful shutdown process. During the shutdown, it should not accept any new task but allow to existing tasks to complete. Deployment and production party. The gap between application deployment, test environment, production environment should be minimal. Logs, application when executed should have logs as a stream of event should be integrated. ALK stack or SP log as a central logging. Okay. And port binding application should be a self-contained and accessible to the HTTP port. List the differences between monolith, SOA and microservices architecture. So application architecture is categorized in 3 major categories: monolith, SOA, microservices. Monolith application are single tiered where data access, user interface, code combined in the single platform. E-commerce software as a service (SaaS) is an example of the monolith. Service-oriented architecture, application used to network services such as a web, mobile application, using global positioning system GPS sent to the current location is an a application of SOA architecture. Microservices architecture is a collection of loosely coupled services where services are fine, grained, and protocol are lightweight. Amazon Web Services and Netflix are some example of microservices. So here differences are given. Monolith is better performance, better maintainable, increased agility, simple deployment, and higher reliability, able to horizontal scaling, easy to overcome cross-cutting concern, parallel deployment, complex design, limit agility, complex management, security concern, code base getting cumbersome over time, high investment cost, different programming language can be used in microservices. So list the benefit of sharding in database. In sharding is a single data set distributed across the multiple database, eventually stored in multiple machine. Sharding. So you know answer. Benefit database sharding offer to listed improve the read write throughput and enhance the storage capacity, high availability. Sharding means you can say one or more database or be installed, make it as a distributed cross multiple communication. So purpose of this will using the sharding in the database, high availability. So unable to distributed data, the database maintain the partially functional and part of schema on the different sorts. So let's 8 question had been covered on this video. In the next video, we'll cover other interview question of Java architect. So we will describe and how to crack the architect level interview. So thanks for watching the first part of Java interview architect video.